Hi everyone, it's Holly McHugh, Career and Business Success Coach, and today's topic is a good one. I'm going to be sharing how to turn any setback into a success on your terms. What an awesome possibility. Let's face it, none of us like to get things wrong. And if you are just quietly a control freak or a recovering perfectionist like I am, then you will wholeheartedly empathize with the concept of hating to get a failure or a setback of any kind. But the reality is we are going to experience setbacks along the way, especially if we are someone who's driven and ambitious and we want to smash goals. So whether you are right now an entrepreneur, launching or leveraging your business, whether you're a side hustler like me, or you are a professional in a 9-to-5, regardless of your goals, we have to get okay with the concept of getting things wrong. And the sooner we do, the sooner we will liberate ourselves from the shackles of perfectionism. Okay, now I speak from first-hand experience as someone who was so determined to be perfect first time at everything in my career that I actually ended up burnt out, ill, and suffering from a quarter-life crisis. It was one of the most painful, challenging times of my entire life, and that was all despite me landing a dream job in Switzerland, of all places, working on media campaigns for multi-million-dollar brand portfolios for one of the biggest, best companies in the world. And I was still miserable. And it was because I had not identified with the important concept that I'm going to share with you today. So what I'm going to share with you today are two things. Firstly, why we must be open to setbacks and how this will be our greatest weapon that you could possibly have on the roller coaster of entrepreneurship or any of your endeavors. And secondly, I'm going to share with you a quote that I personally love and which has given me some really strong wisdom in those moments of self-doubt which we all suffer from. So why would we want to be open to the concept of failing? Why do we want to fail more or have more setbacks? Well, it's not that we're going to seek them out, but the most important thing to recognize is that if we're not putting ourselves out there in any which way, then getting rejection and hearing a no is kind of the default status quo, right? I didn't actually mean that to rhyme, but it did, so that's even more awesome. But if we are not putting ourselves out there, if we're not asking for the opportunities, if we're not negotiating, if we're not trying, then the answer is always no. So the comfort zone is so named for obvious reasons. It's really comfortable inside our comfort zone. We know what to do in our comfort zone. We know how things work in our comfort zone. It is cozy. But if we want to achieve things that we know deep down we were capable of, if we know that we have goals we want to smash, if we know that we have a bigger sense of contribution in the world, then we have to put on our big girl pants and step outside that comfort zone once in a while, or frequently, ideally, so that we can grow, expand, learn, improve. And what I want to share with you today is the importance of recognizing that actually any failure or setback is actually a part of our success. Okay, why would I say it's a part of our success? Because the faster you know what doesn't work, the faster you know what does work. And it's only through experience that we learn anything. It's only through experience that we get better at something. So if you are in a situation where perhaps you were passed over for that promotion, or you didn't land the dream job and you didn't get past the next interview stage, or you got a no from that dream client you were so looking forward to working with, or you were passed over for a speaking opportunity, or you pitched to some media and didn't even get a response. You know, it feels pretty shitty, right? But we have to ensure that we continue to put ourselves out there, but most importantly, that we're reflecting on that setback. Because if we don't reflect on the setback and the failure, then we cannot take anything from it that's actually going to help us or be on our terms. So what I want you to start doing whenever something doesn't appear to go your way is to ask yourself this one important question. What is great about me knowing this now? What is great about me knowing this now? Why would I want to delay knowing something that doesn't quite work or doesn't quite resonate to a later date if I could have that insight, that knowledge, that experience, that wisdom right now in this moment, and I could take action as a result of it that could bring about a better, more positive result, right? So we need to always be reflecting on, what can I gain from this? What can I learn from this? What would I do better next time? What would I do differently next time? And if you're in a situation where you don't know what it was you did or did not do, then seek the feedback. Okay, people are always amazed and impressed when people actually seek feedback, because it really shows you want to improve. It shows that you have a hunger for whatever it was that you had in your sights. And far too few people actually ask for that feedback. And it's the only way we can ever close our blind spots. So being open to receiving a no first and foremost, because if we're not open to receiving it, we're never going to put ourselves out there in the first place. And then the answer is always no. Then asking yourself those really important reflection questions so you can actually learn something from the experience. And then I want you to just also savor that sense of satisfaction that you did everything you could do, right? You tried, you put yourself out there, you contributed. You can hold your head high, and also consider, what did I gain as well? Did I meet some new people? Did I make a new connection? Did I learn something? Did I have a new experience I wouldn't otherwise have had, regardless of the result and the outcome? And if we can remember that through every experience we gain something of value, then it just means we're going to jump into new things so much more readily and with an open heart, because we know the very worst thing that could ever happen is we're going to learn something from it. So this mindset shift literally transformed my life. And the second you can recognize that failure is actually a part of your success is the moment you can liberate yourself from the shackles of perfectionism and control freakdom. And that is happiness all round for everyone. So I want you to take away those questions and really think about that in new ways, and ask yourself honestly, what have you not been putting yourself forwards for in terms of opportunities you seek and desire and want more than anything, because you've been fearful of getting a no? I mean, you just might as well do it. Okay, so the second thing I wanted to share, as I mentioned, is this amazing quote, which I just think is so powerful in its simplicity, and it's something that really warms my heart. So this is a quote by someone called Al-Shafi, and it says, "My heart is at ease, knowing what misses me was never meant for me, and what was meant for me will never miss me." I just love that. Play this back and repeat it if you need to. Write it down, tattoo it to your forehead. Just know and trust that when a door closes, another one, the right one, the aligned one, the authentic one, the one that was meant for you, will be able to open. If we're saying yes to everything, then we're not necessarily able to create space for the things that were meant for us. And we need to be able to say no sometimes. We need to kind of have those setbacks. And it's that idea that the universe is trying to nudge us in a different way. That's something that Oprah Winfrey says as well. That failure is just the universe trying to nudge you into a new direction, a more meaningful direction that was meant for you. So I trust fully that what will be, will be. What is meant to be is meant to be. I trust the timing of my life. And now when I get a setback or a no or something that feels like a disappointment, yeah, I might have a little whinge for a moment like we all do, let's be real. But then I reflect on it, as I said before, and then I consider that something even better is around the corner. And not that long ago, a couple of years ago, I lost my biggest client. They were one of my very first clients when I started my business. They were worth $80,000 to me. And all of a sudden, pretty much within no notice at all, actually, just a couple of weeks from signing off on the last proposal, and then a few conversations later, the budget was pulled. It was out of the hands of my direct contact, unfortunately, and that was that. The end of a 3-year partnership and some incredible, rewarding work that I'd loved to do. And naturally, it was a bit rubbish, but I'd also kind of sensed at some point it was going to happen. And what this paved the way for was it actually created the space for me to finally get my ass into gear and launch my first group mastermind program, which was something I'd wanted to do for years. Literally, I cannot tell you how many times I've talked about it, brainstormed it. Every single notebook in my office, of which there are many, if you'd opened any single one of them, there would be again that page of ideas of the idea I had for my group program. And this finally lit the fire at my backside to make it happen. it was like, there is no excuse now. I actually have the time and space. Before I really didn't, because I was still part-time as well in my business. And this had been a lot of work as it was to deliver on. And finally, I had this blank slate. So for an entire month, I'll never forget, it was April, for an entire month, I just worked my backside off, launching and creating the vision for this program. And then I got my first 10 women into it. And this is now my signature program called Influence with Impact, which I'm about to run for the 4th time. And it has been one of my most rewarding creations ever. I've worked with some incredible women who have achieved amazing things, like tripling their annual income, like doubling their price points and landing ideal client contracts, like giving up a waitressing job and quitting their 9-to-5 they've been full-time in, and launching an amazing flexible business around their son as a single mom. The list goes on. These have been amazing women, and the fantastic thing is we've been a part of each other's journeys over the last few years. And I improve upon it every single round as well. I'm always tweaking, I'm finessing, welcoming in new people each time. And it's just something I'm so, so grateful for. I'm grateful that that original setback happened, because had it not, who knows if I'd ever got around to it? Who knows? Because I would have been comfortable in that arrangement, right? I wouldn't have strove to do something new or do something differently necessarily, because I could have convinced myself, well, there isn't the hours, there isn't the time to do it. And it's ended up being one of the single most important achievements of my life, because the whole purpose of my business was to empower other women, because I firmly believe that, you know, when we work within our zones of passion, the entire world benefits and we make the world a better place. So every single woman that's come through this mastermind who has left with the clarity and the confidence to put their ideas into action and launch their own dream business, which in turn is going to have an incredible contribution on others, it creates that positive ripple effect. One of my amazing clients from the mastermind started her own not-for-profit charity and is now supporting women and children all over Australia who have suffered from domestic abuse. And just imagine the ripple effect that that in turn is having now. So again, if I'd not forced myself outside my comfort zone, none of that might have happened. And this is the other thing to remember. It's not just about you. Like, it's not just about me. It's not about me, full stop. It's about how am I empowering others to be the best that they can be. And the fantastic thing is, in turn, that's fulfilling me and my heart's desire all at once. So that is what I wanted to share today. Those pearls of wisdom hopefully have resonated. I would love to hear what your takeaways are. So make sure you post me a comment, or you can email me directly. I read all of my emails, and I love to hear from my audience to know what's striking a chord and what else you want to hear about from me, as it may just make the inspiration for my next video. So lots of love for now, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.